name is Ilona Niemi, and I'm a sort of visual artist from Finland, and I mostly paint and do collages and do these sort of stuffed creatures and make installations out of them. For a long time I've been very much influenced by the disappearance of my friend. One of my childhood friends went missing in 1988 and nobody's heard of her since. So I've sort of created this personal mythology with my work and thought of different things that might have happened to her, and rather than illustrating those stories directly, I've just sort of used children's faces in my paintings and then made the paintings into characters and then set them in a landscape. But currently I'm more and more interested in gardening and flowers, because we've got a garden now, so a lot of the work deals with that. For this show I decided to use the garden theme a bit more consciously than before, because I came to see this space in the summer and I just like the way the light sort of comes in through the windows, and you can see trees outside and a lot of greenery. And also gardening ties in with my other interests in mythology and childhood, and the difference between being a child and being grown up, and especially the borderline between being a child and a grown up. Again, dealing with my friend who went missing. So with these works, there's a lot of, I guess, to me it seems like there's a lot of death involved in it, because when you're looking at gardens you can sort of sense the cycle of life in fast motion. And to me, painting has something to do with trying to sort of capture life and sort of freeze it in eternity. So especially with these creatures where I've painted children, it's almost like I'm sort of illustrating the process of trying to keep something alive for good, which is obviously impossible. Flowers really just personify that nothing can stay alive forever. Now, the characters are just something that I've just sort of made in the evenings while watching telly, and I think I've been drawing a lot up until now and always cutting out the drawings and doing collages, and I thought it would be nice to sort of set them up somehow so they're starting to interact with each other. These ones I can do quite quickly and get a mass of them together, which has been quite nice. But I was thinking of, like you could tie these characters into gardening as well, and nature in that sense, that it could be dealing with genetic modification if you wanted to look at it that way. There's all kinds of human body parts that have been mixed with like mouse heads or something like that. So you could see it on that level, but that's not necessarily what I'm thinking about when I'm making them. For me it's just a bit of fun. I guess ever since art school I've always been making things, like with a sewing machine or a saw, and sort of crafty things. I quite enjoy it, rather than just painting flat. I like to make creatures that are more 3D. Like the seal character is called Maui Selkie, and I heard about selkies in a film, and I got really into that myth, and then I found out that it has a lot to do with Shetland. And it was interesting because it said that the whole myth of Selkie might originate from Finnish women coming over to the Shetland Isles and marrying fishermen there, because the Finnish women used to wear these sort of sealskin clothes. And since I'm a Finnish woman and my husband's Scottish, I thought that plays on a personal level as well. I sort of like to make the work first and then try and somehow make a name that to me has a bit more clout than just, oh well, I just made this wee character. I like the fact that this room here seems very domestic. You can see the old fireplace there. It was sort of easy to put this show together thinking that I'm just decorating somebody's living room. Although obviously nobody could live here when there's no furniture or anything. But I was thinking of the space as though it was a sort of domestic space rather than a gallery space or an art space as such. And I've done it a few times now for different shows. I've showed process somehow, and then Sally suggested they print out process photos from my blog, and I thought that was a good idea. Like the final pieces they're just oftentimes so polished and so finished that you don't necessarily see all the work and all the ideas that go into making of the work. I think it gives it more weight, to see the process as well, how the artist has mulled the different ideas over and how the final product has come together.